Secrets of Astrology YouTube channel welcomes all the viewers and listeners. In last Horizon of Astrology and Varga Engineering series, we are speaking to Astromaster U K Jha. Astromaster, in most fascinating topic in astrology, is on Navamsha, its percepts and concepts, its facts and feeling regarding its computation and dominance. Master, your views on Navamsha is not only radical but also against set norms and perception of established predictive beliefs. People would not readily receive it, some may take it otherwise, as an attempt for attracting undue attention. I therefore request you to be more specific and pragmatic into light of prevalent predictive norms. Astromaster, your thought on this subject in light of paradigm of Navamsha. Astromaster.
I can tell you that there is nothing new or strange in what I say or whatever I have told earlier in regard to Navamsha. This has been a talk among the astrologers say about 5 or 6 decades ago, and they were also not giving this much importance to Navamsha, at least in North India. Those scholars did not attach any special significance to Navamsha. I am talking of the North Indian scholars. And I am talking of only that what was in the opinion of those scholars. As such, there is nothing reactionary in whatever I say. It is wrong to perceive that I am talking of these things just to attract the attention in any self-interest. No, that is not true. It is certain that whatever I say is contrary to the deep-rooted, prevalent view of Navamsha. And I am telling you, this is fact. And this fact is not against any principle. It is against the belief system of the modern astrologers. This is because they have been made to believe that Navamsha is a very special diagram. So much special so that it is deemed more important even than the natal chart. And that is entirely a wrong perception. But the mind of the modern astrologers today stands completely conditioned in this respect. That is why they feel hurt when I say that undue and undesired importance has been attached to the Navamsha chart. Look, facts and feelings seldom go side by side. What I tell is a fact, and what is heard is the feelings. I have encountered this feeling face to face on countless occasions, I can tell you. Whatever and whenever I put the question as to why Navamsha should be deemed special in any gathering or discussion or forum, none has been able to reply it in rational lines. All they say is merely the feelings. Their argument is far, far away from the facts. Just see few of the reasons advanced by the astrologers in this regard. First, some say birth chart is the body and Navamsha is the soul. Others say natal chart is the tree and Navamsha chart is the fruit. These statements carry no meaning. Obviously, these answers carry the feelings and not the facts of those who are blindly following Navamsha for everything. Secondly, few people say that the disposition of the planets in Navamsha gives more clear picture about the strength of the planet. But they have no answer to the question as to why and how a planet placed in Navamsha can reflect its better or poor strength. So this statement again borders upon the periphery of the feelings, and this feeling emanate more from a conditioned mind rather than from a logical mind. Third argument I am putting. There are also astrologers who say that the disposition of the planets in Navamsha, define the quality or beneficence of the planets. They argue that if a planet is debilitate in natal chart but exalted in Navamsha, it would give the effects of its exaltation. On the contrary, if a planet is exalted in natal chart but debilitate in Navamsha, it would give the effects of its debilitation. It is really, I can tell you, laughable. Everyone knows that the effects given by an exalted or a debilitated planet depends largely on location of that planet in the horoscope and on the condition of its dispositor. In the natal chart. As such, these arguments are also not based on the logical facts. It is, on the other hand, is again based more on the feelings. But we cannot afford to ignore the facts on the basis of our feelings. Then there are another group of supporters of the present status of Navamsha. They say that the concept of Vargottam is based on Navamsha. The term Vargottam actually imply that the planet is in same sign in the natal chart and in the Varga chart. Since we take only Navamsha into consideration for looking into all aspects of life, as the practice has become rampant nowadays, so we feel that the concept of Vargottam is governed by the Navamsha position of the planet. This is again merely a feeling. Fact is that a planet can be Vargottam in any Varga, say Hora or Daskan or Chaturthams or Panchams or Dasams, etc., anywhere. It is not that only in the Navamsa a planet can become Vargottam. So here again we find that this feeling is not on, say, in line with the fact. This is merely a feeling. And this feeling is because our belief system has been conditioned to think like that. I am giving you one more argument coming from some people. These people try to justify the things in different ways and say taking a turn towards the mythological phenomena in defense of Navamsa or to establish its supernality. There one can clearly hear lots of things that are either contrary to the concepts of the Vedic theology or show the shallow and hollow knowledge and poor understanding of these people about Vedic religion. There are concepts about Vishnu or Shankara or Lakshmi or Parvati, etc., infused into the concept of Navamsa. And that is not only peculiar and queer, but also sounds ridiculous. They also prefer to use these terms merely to put meat into their juiceless and tasteless substance of their argument. It becomes clear from the allegories and metaphors used, I can tell you, by them, that they are struggling hard to defend their old and aged feeling about Navamsa. It looks clear that they are trying to defend their position somehow or the other in support of the Navamsa. Actually, you can see that they are struggling to defend something which is entirely indefensible, especially in case of Navamsa. So everything told by them sounds comical, laughable, and also, I will call, grotesque. It looks as if a potter is at pains to praise his pot. There are another class of people who try to defend Navamsha in different ways. These people deem the Navamsha important because in their perception, Navamsha gives vital clues about the past birth of the native. But they do not know how to cull out any such information from the Navamsha chart. The grim and the gruesome fact is that one does not even know how to study any divisional charts. And that is obvious the way they are applying aspects and look for the astrological yogas, etc. in Navamsha chart. What I mean to say that here again the feeling is placed before the fact to prevail upon, and a logical mind fails to accept that. Say some astrologers say that Navamsha is Bhagyams, so it should be deemed important. See, actually, the term Bhagyams has different meaning in different connotation. But first let us try to understand what is Bhagya or the luck. See, this luck is nothing but the results of the actions done in the previous birth. It means that a man is himself the author of his luck. If the action of the past birth has determined our fate in this birth, then the action of the present incarnation would also lay the foundation of the fate in the future birth. We can say that. And that is because we are the author of our fate. If we could write our present luck through our actions in the past birth, we can again write our fate of future birth through the present actions. Now past is past. Whatever has been done in the past birth cannot be undone now. But present actions are in our hand. We have total control over them. We can do only good things. That is in our hand. As such, Navamsha has no importance in present life if it is taken that it carries the elements of luck. More important, as we find from the above discussion, is the action. The action of karma of the present birth, because it will decide the luck of the future birth. So this argument leads to the conclusion that Dasamsa and Deskam chart should then be given more importance than the Navamsa chart. In this way also, we find that the Navamsa cannot be given extra importance in this life of the native. More sensible and logical argument made by few people, I would say, that the Navamsa is important because its value tallies with, say, 1/4. When it tallies degretically with the value of the 1/4 of a nakshatra. Now it is a mathematical issue. This matching is based on the condition that there are 27 nakshatras. But as I have told in my earlier talks, that before the Phagni, Asad and Bhadra were broken into Purva and Uttara, there were only 24 nakshatras. I have already spoken over it in my earlier lectures. And this is fact. All those who delve deep into the mathematical concepts of zodiac are well aware of it. And those who blame Barahmihir for such divisions are also not correct. This is only a depiction of the poor perception in this regard. I have already spoken over it in my talk on facts and fallacies behind Nakshatra Dasa systems, especially the Vimsotri Dasa system. Now, if Nakshatra is taken as 24, then the 1/4 of Nakshatra would be 3 degree and 45 minutes, which is equal to Ashtams. Suppose if it is increased to number 30 by breaking 3 more nakshatras into their Purva and Uttara, then the value of one nakshatra will be 12 degree and its 1/4 would be 3 degree. This would match with the degrical value of Dashams. So now what will be important? Earlier it was Ashtams, now Navams, and in future it may be Dashams. Can the things would keep on changing like this? Certainly not. It sounds ridiculous. So from these discussions, it becomes evident that the argument in the line of 1/4 of nakshatra is also not very sound or adequately appealing and hence cannot be considered as valid. Now one may question, and that is a very valid question, why and how the Navamsha became important in the predictive astrology, because the users of Navamsha with a conditioned mind today are entitled to know this. So although I have spoken over it earlier, here again I put the same things in brief. See, after the division of the nakshatra, the paradigm of, say, Siddhant Jyotish or mathematical astrology underwent radical changes. All this was done to formulate and accord importance to Vimsotri Dasa system. I have spoken over it in detail in my talk on Vimsotri Dasa system. The decision to divide the nakshatra, I am telling you, also led to factionalism. Astrologers in southern part of our country started drawing Navamsha chart along with the natal chart. And this leads us to presume that perhaps they were earlier using Ashtam's chart when the division had not been done, because at that time 1/4 of the nakshatra was equivalent to the degrical value of Ashtams. See, things are too old and nothing can be said with any certainty. but it looks like that. But in astrologers in North India were using moon chart along with the birth chart. They were not giving much importance to the Navamsha chart. That is why the books of South Indian origin carry lots of aphorisms where the importance of Navamsha for deliverance of any effect are found in plenty, but that is not with the case of the texts of the North Indian schools. And when those books from the south became available in north, it definitely had some impact on the perception of the astrologers here. At the same time, I am telling you about, say, 4 or 5 decades earlier, or even more than that, say 6 decades, a big revolution in the field of astrology was brought about by great Dr. B.V. Raman for the renaissance of astrology. Now, in his magazine, the astrological magazine, its name was Astrological Magazine, and it was actually started by his grandfather, Professor B. Surdayanadam. The Navamsha chart was being used as a mandatory tool for interpretation of the charts and the effects studied therefrom. And the modern astrologers, say I am talking of in the last, say, 4, 5 or 6 decades, got highly influenced by the arguments and the line of discussions adopted in that magazine. That is how the Navamsha chart became popular and got gravitated in the mind of modern astrologers. Slowly and slowly it percolated down the line, and today it has become well established and firmly gravitated in the mind of astrologers. But that is not true. I have spoken about this, and these are the facts that I have spoken. It is neither a criticism of Navamsha nor any war against it. These facts have been highlighted merely as a part of my mission, I will tell you. And anyone who has the doubt, they should go to their alma mater, discuss with their teachers. That would help them to know the truth and also enable them to have their own perception in this regard on logical lines. Only that is what I have been telling. So I have been telling, I still say that there is no need of giving so much importance to Navamsha. The books advise us to go for the 10 varga, where the actual character of the planets can be studied in detail, and that is what is not being done. We are unnecessarily depending on Navamsha by attaching too much importance to it, and this is a ruthless, dangerous shortcut method that has eradicated the root of Varga Jyotish. That's it.